kick on and playing a grand final. And for me, they're in danger of fizzling out like a cheap firework, Catalan, if they don't pick up the intensity soon.
Will they sparkle? Will they fizzle out? Find out now with our commentary team. Standing by are John Wells and Bill Arthur.
Thank you, Brian. Yes, Catalan Dragons' hopes of taking the league leaders' crown have faded, but they can still secure a top 2 finish. Leeds still incredibly have a faint chance of making the top 6, but they must win in Perpignan to keep those hopes alive. Ben Thaler is the referee on a pitch that's a bit of an improvement on the last time we saw it. That defeat by Wigan. Underway in the sunshine of Perpignan. Leeds turned their season around last year with an extra time win in Perpignan. John Wells, can they do a similar job?
Well, listen, I think they've got a huge task ahead of them. The Catalan Dragons, I mean, realistically, I think it's the, you know, they're sat in third at the moment. They're looking for a home semi spot, a home playoff spot. But the first would obviously, look, they need to get the win. The second, if we can rack up some points, because points difference, we've been saying this for weeks, is likely to determine first, second and third, and that's not the way to do it. An early error from the Catalan Dragons.
That's a boost for the Leeds Rhinos early on. McIllorum with an uncharacteristic error.
Yeah, I was about to say exactly the same. Just, yeah, into the back of Davis, I think, at dummy half. So an early opportunity for the Leeds Rhinos, who would be smarting from that really heavy defeat at the hands of the Wigan Warriors last week.
Well, both of them have suffered at the hands of the Wigan Warriors in recent weeks. Leeds more so with that thumping 50-0 defeat, and that's a knock-on by Leeds. This is not a promising start to the game.
And the fans, the home fans, have had all sorts to deal with. It's only the Catalan Dragons' second game at home since the end of July. And in that time, they've witnessed them beat Salford 42 points to 0, and the next time they take the seats in the stand, they get thrashed by Wigan 34 points to 0. Since that loss, as Paul Cook has mentioned in the build-up to this one, they were beaten by Hull KR and then scraped unconvincingly past the now relegated Wakefield Trinity side. So there's some questions to answer for the Catalan Dragons as well.
So they will get the ball back. And so many players out there in Catalan colours with an eye on their future. Mitchell Pearce and Sam Tompkins said farewell on the pitch beforehand. It's not farewell, of course, with a semi-final to come in the playoffs. But they're hanging up their boots. Others are moving on, including Tyrone May there. And now they could be in for the first try of the game. Johnston back inside. And it's Adam Kieran who does get the first try, although the touch judge is indicating there might have been a foot in touch there. Ben Thaler reckons it's a try. Marcus Griffiths is the video ref, and he'll be looking to see whether, was it Johnston or Kieran, had a foot in touch.
Well, it'd be Johnston. Look at the build-up play from Tyrone May, absolutely fantastic. We'll talk about him in greater detail in a bit. I think it's this here, whether there's a foot in touch. That looks clean to me. That looks like a clean pass infield, and this should be the opening score for the Catalan Dragons, Bill.
Kieran's pass to Johnston. Ooh, now then, did the heel hit the whitewash?
Well, this has gone up as a try. You need to remember that. So they need now, you know, clear and definite reasons as to why not to award this.
Touch judge is pointing in the background to the ground there. Marcus Griffiths has had a look. And Catalan Dragons get the first try of the game. And Adam Kieran, another player who will be saying farewell at the end of this season, off to Wigan next season, gets his 11th try of the campaign. Tom Johnston, you thought he was going to be in there for his set 26 of the season, but back in field to Kieran. And the centre finished off.
Yeah, excellent work down a narrow short side This is where I'll pick up my Tyrone May thing. I think I'm looking at all these Catalan Dragons players and the litany of stars they've got. Tyrone May, for me, in 16 appearances, he's missed 10 games this season, has been the most attackingly creative player statistically for the Catalan Dragons. If you added up all the tries he scored, the try assists and the try involvements, in this case, that short side, neat little pass to Adam Kieran, which started the break. He stands ahead of both Pearce and Tompkins. He's been a great pickup for the Catalan Dragons and will be a big miss when he leaves at the end of the season.
Yeah, there's going to be some rebuilding at the Catalan Dragons, that's for sure. Kieran, who got a try and 3 goals in the victory against Wakefield last week, has opened his accounts. And this from the sideline. A difficult one for him, but it looks good. It is. 6-0, Catalan Dragons get the start they wanted.
Yeah, good early points on the board after a couple of nervy moments from both teams, the Catalan Dragons and the Leeds Rhinos knocking on. This is the contentious bit. Did Johnston's foot go in touch? Kieran celebrates, but I'll take you right back to that play the ball. Lovely short side move, and Tyrone May at the heart of everything good there.
Catalan need a few more of those because points difference is crucial, certainly between them and St Helens.
Yeah, absolutely, and it could well determine the difference between, you know, does that semi-final take place at the Stade Gilbert Brutus, and it will come down to points difference. You look at the other teams in there, Wigan with a really healthy points difference. If the top 3 win their remaining games, it will come down to how many points the Catalan Dragons beat Leeds by, and then next week how many points St Helens beat Hull FC. That is, as I said, if all 3 teams win their remaining games. Such is the tightness of this competition.
Here's Tom Davis, but into a cul-de-sac. Davis. Wolfert's with the tackle. Across the fields with Paul Seguier.
We're here, Jared. Wait!
Seguier plays the ball. And Hooley came for that and couldn't get to it.
Well, it's a poor effort from Luke Hooley. He's a little shake of his head there. As a full-back, it's clearly his ball, nobody else's. Yes, he's under pressure, but you've got to really commit to it. That was a very non-committal approach there from Hooley. You expect him to be more dominant, and he's come up with another error for the Leeds Rhinos. And ironically, it wasn't the area that I was looking at with concern for the Rhinos. You know, I'm looking at the Leeds Rhinos starting pack with an average age of 22 and how they were going to cope with the likes of McMeekan and Navarrete and Seguier and Garcia. You know, Hooley has been brought in, not necessarily as a starting fullback, has spent plenty of time there.
Well, he's been the fullback for the last 5 games, and Leeds have got more defending to do here now, because Catalan have them pinned on their own try line. They go down the short side once again. Held just short of the try line is Whitley. Extricates himself from between Newman's legs. Here is Ben Garcia, the Catalan Dragons captain. He's flung that ball out of the tackle, kept it alive, and Tompkins comes onto the pass. Catalan looking to strike again, keep the pressure on. Short ball, and has McMeekan got that down? He hasn't, and Hooley, I think, has picked it up. The referee's going to bring him back. Referee Ben Thaler is going to bring him back and ask Marcus Griffiths to have another look at this. Did McMeekan manage to get this ball down? I think he was on the wrong side of McMeekan's body there, Ben Thaler.
So it's a great initial effort in defence from Sinfield. He's kept the ball up, and then, yeah, McMeekan's in his second attempt to try and ground that ball. Yeah, it's Cam Smith and Sinfield in there. Second attempt, ball comes loose, picked up by Luke Hooley. I mean, that'll go down as a knock-on for the Catalan Dragons. So this will be a Leeds Rhinos possession, but look, there's some early warning signs here. And you don't want to spend the opening 5-10 minutes of the game defending, and that's what the Rhinos are doing at the moment. This will be a no try.
Yeah, McMeekan couldn't control the ball. And good defence from the Leeds Rhinos to deny the Catalan Dragons a second try.
Okay, go. Back on. 0. Next is 0.
And that'll boost Leeds, that defensive stint.
Absolutely. Yeah, this is the area that I'm interested in now. What are the Rhinos going to offer here? So you've got two backs to start the set. Daryl Alfords and then David Fuster with the first 2 carries. It's hot out there. We know it's hot. We know it's humid. The comments have been made about the conditions. But this is a youthful-looking Leeds Rhinos pack as well.
Despite their problems this season and the predicament of the side in the table, Leeds supporters have travelled in good numbers for this one. And for the Catalan supporters, it's one of the big games of the calendar. This and the visit at Wigan. Kick for Leeds to chase is a good one into the corner.
Yeah, long raking kick from Rhys Martin. He's operating in the standoff role today. Hasn't he been a great pickup for the Leeds Rhinos? I think one of the best overseas signings they've made. Certainly one of the best overseas signings you would say in Super League in the last 5 years. Not just the quality, but the utility value as well. I mean, the amount of different positions he's not just played in, but excelled in.
Well, you wonder what he would have achieved if he'd, in these last 5 years, he'd been playing in a successful, well, okay, they got grand final last year, but you know, on the back of a winning more often side, his points tally would be out of the
absolutely
scale, wouldn't it?
Deadly from the tee, decent kicking game in field, really robust, not often injured.
Oh, that's a high shot, and Tom Davies just gets back to his feet.
Yeah, James McDonald just reaching there. It's Davies with a bit of footwork, has just put him on the outside of James McDonald. There's nothing malicious in there, it's just a reaching, raking arm. But again, possession and territory given up by the Leeds Rhinos, not what you want to be doing when it's hot.
Credit to Tom Davies as well, no histrionics, no writhing around. Just got back up on his feet. Catalan have the penalty, and it's a good kick deep into Leeds territory. So it's one-way traffic pretty much early on. McMeekin dumped to the ground by Holroyd's tackle. McMeekin back through the middle come the Catalan Dragons. Romain Navarrete it is. Cam Smith in his way. Tyrone May, here is Tompkins. Back in field comes Whitley at pace. Saints player next season. McAlorum now. McMeekin, short ball, finds Navarrete. Navarrete stopped just short. 4 tackles gone this set. McAlorum's pass, Tyrone May, Mitchell Pearce. Oh, Alfords had the opportunity there. Couldn't take the pass, but he at least denied Catalan the overlap.
Yeah, got in the right position. That's probably the best he could have hoped for. Is a pass bulleted out by Mitchell Pearce. I'm not sure it was the right option, to be honest. I mean, Daryl Alfords was up flat. Mitchell Pearce got a chance to replay that play, maybe just drop that onto the toe. We know he's got a great short kicking game as Mitchell Pearce. But they've smelt points, they've got points early. And now we go back to where we started with all this talk about not just winning the game. If they get themselves in front, they really need to click into foot-on-throat mode and start racking up these points.
McAlorum, they like this left edge. Here is Sam Tompkins, and Tompkins trying to weave his way through. How he'd love to sign off in Perpignan with a few tries. Pearce, McMeekin denied once. Just short of the try line. McAlorum, short ball, and they are in with Ben Garcia. And Garcia came thundering onto that ball from Mickey Mack. And Catalan do extend their advantage. Kick to come. They lead by 10 points to 0. 6th try of the campaign for Ben Garcia.
Yeah, we've been used to seeing lovely, flowing, expansive rugby from the Catalan Dragons in recent years, but these are just as effective, direct, Route 1 stuff. And I think he's been one of the players of the season for the Catalan Dragons. A captain leading from the front in Ben Garcia. Huge work rate, low error rate, massive commitment. Lives and breathes the Dragons. And a cute little ball as well from Michael McAlorum. 10-0, kick to come. You expect Adam Kieran to convert this one. And unfortunately, it's as a lot of pundits and a lot of bookmakers had this one, the Catalan Dragons will be 12 points ahead with 12 minutes played.
Ben Garcia with the try. He actually made his Super League debut at Leeds back in 2013, was on the losing side. And Kieran, 60 goals to his name this season. And Wigan, where he will be playing next season, will be looking to him to add some gloss to their point-scoring machine.
Yeah, it's an area that's been an issue, hasn't it, for the Wigan Warriors, not for the Catalan Dragons, not for Adam Kieran. He's a sharpshooter with the boot. Harry Smith hasn't been the best of seasons, has it, from the tee, and they've scored plenty of points, the Wigan Warriors, but they've missed it. He'll be a great addition. That's a lovely little short ball. McDonald just not able to stop Garcia from that range. And as I said, 12-0 into the 13th minute now, and the Catalan Dragons fans starting to find their voice.
Pearce underneath it, having decided to hang up his boots at the end of this season, 34-year-old Mitchell Pearce, and he would love to bow out with a grand final appearance on the other side of the world, having been a grand final winner in the NRL with the Roosters in 2013 against Manly. Set to restart, too slow, says Ben Thaler. McMeekin. Great conversion to a prop, isn't he, Mike McMeekin?
It's been I played with Mike McMeekin in London many years ago. He did not look that shape then. I'll tell you now, he's filled out nicely, I think is the polite term. But he's graduated, hasn't he? Sent into back row to prop forward, and looks at very much at home there. Nice break.
McAlorum with the break, looking for somebody on his shoulder. There was somebody on his other shoulder, but he looked over his left. The support was on his right, but Catalan come again. May bombs the pass out to Kieran, who does well to offload to Whitley. Leeds scrambling in defence now, as Whitley plays the ball. Tyrone May, Pearce is Tompkins. Tompkins shows the ball and then bullets the pass out. Tom Davis! Davis in at the corner. And another Catalan try. And the points beginning to flow for the Catalan Dragons. Tom Davis making his 150th career appearance, gets his 14th try of the season. Slick handling.
And that was beautiful from the Catalan Dragons. Tyrone May looks like he's got all the time in the world. Take a look at this contribution from Sam Tompkins. See it, now you don't, and then an absolute rocket straight into the chest of Tom Davis. There's very little you can do about that as a defensive side. That is super well organised. Davis gets the try, and I tell you what, it's about the win, it's about points, but it's also about sending a message to the rest of those contenders in and around the six, those who are in, those who want to be in, that the Catalan Dragons, notwithstanding that recent dip in form, are not to be messed with. When they are on, they are very good.
15 minutes gone, Catalan lead by 16-0 with a kick to come. Tom Davis's eyes lit up then when that pass hummed into his hands like that.
It's an absolute laser of a pass from Sam Tompkins. I just love the change in tempo as well. Tyrone May looks like he's got all the time in the world. Finds Tompkins via Mitchell Pearce, and then what a wonderful change in tempo. Slow, and then an absolute laser of a ball to Davis.
Seen everything from Catalan so far. You've had that Garcia strength try through the middle, out on the left with Kieran, and then Davis on the right. Yeah,
exploiting a short side, exploiting space around the ruck, and then a lovely, slick, really well executed backline pass. Yeah, showcasing all the talents, you know, as they should do, Bill. I mean, you look at the names on this Catalan Dragons list. This is a team that's going to be dismantled at the end of 2023. But let's focus on the here and now and what this team are capable of when in form, because it's pretty special to watch.
Kieran from the sideline looking to drag it in, and does just that. The touch judges had a bit of a think about it, but another excellent kick from Adam Kieran. 18-0.
Take another look at this. The setup. Here's May, laconic, hits Pearce out the back. Now the show and go from Tompkins, and it's the change in pace that ruins that Leeds Rhinos left edge defence. You've got Handley and Alfords out there, and they don't know what to do. The Rhinos short kick-off, and they've regathered as well, says Ben Thaler. They needed something to break the rhythm, Bill.
Well, that's a positive for Leeds. Can they turn the tide here? Give Catalan Dragons something to think about. Catalan having to do a bit of defending. You can see the state of the pitch. It's a slight improvement, but it's still in a bit of a mess.
Well, the Leeds Rhinos here can't panic. You know, they've got the ball back. They've got an opportunity to spend some time down here. You can't go chasing a game with 17 minutes on the clock. Get through a set, get a repeat set, spend some time away from your own try line. This is smart. This is good play.
On the back of a good run from Sam Lissone. And Leeds. Oh, McDonald trying the kick, and Johnston has picked it up. Kieran's picked it up, beg your pardon. And that Leeds attack fizzling out. If Johnston had picked it up, he'd have disappeared by now.
That would have been it, been gone. I think he had a great first season. Tom Johnston, he's got the ball now. What a brilliant first season for the Catalan Dragons.
25 tries to his name. What a battle there is going on for the top try scorer, especially after Abbas Miski's efforts last night. Here is Ben Garcia. Urgency about the Catalan captain. Bustling busyness.
Wait, Sam, fall. Wait!
Michael McAlorum still going strong, 35 years of age, going round again. May juggling with the ball. Oh! And the Catalan knock-on is pulled up by Ben Thaler. Jack Sinfield almost got to it, but it was Tyrone May who'd come up with the error.
Yep, just a second error from the Catalan Dragons. And Tyrone May just taking his eye off the ball. He had Sinfield in his eye line. And a reprieve for the Leeds Rhinos. The Rhinos are going to put a sequence of play together here. Need to get to an end of a set and settle down a little bit, because the danger is you change your game plan. You have to change what you were doing, change the thought processes that you came into the game. You can't afford to do that. Look, you know, clock's still your friend at the moment, but they're not competitive, are they? Certainly not in terms of the score.
Rhys Martin playing the ball. Jared O'Connor serves it up. Darrell Alfords over the halfway line. For a Leeds side going into this game, 8th in the table. Still with faint hopes of making the top 6. That'd be some achievement. Here's Lissone again, hat-trick scorer in the win over Hull a couple of weeks ago. Gannon, 5th tackle as he's brought down. Jared O'Connor. Sinfield kicks across field, and the ball is pouched by Davis. And that was no nonsense from Tom Davis. That was his.
Well, there you go. There's a compare and contrast from a backfield player. Davis absolutely 100% committed to what he was doing. You compare that to Luke Hooley, that tentative attempt earlier on in the game. That's what you do. You put your name on it and you go and get it.
Just hobbling slightly, Tom Davis. Set restart signalled a moment ago by Ben Thaler. McAlorum is Julien Bousquet, making his 17th consecutive appearance. And still going. Is Pearce trying to open up the Leeds defence. Mitchell Pearce. Sam Tompkins now. Tyrone May, the short ball, and Kieran takes the pass. And Kieran almost to the line. It looks suspiciously forward, that did, from Tyrone May. Referee let it go. 5th tackle. They're virtually on that Leeds try line. It is with Tyrone May. He's going to stab a little kick in. He's not. Pearce is. Pearce puts the kick in. Tompkins chasing. Too strong.
Yeah, I think you saw Sam Tompkins herring across your screen to get into position. I think he thought the kick was coming from Tyrone May. Instead, it went to Pearce. And a 7-tackle set awarded to the Leeds Rhinos.
Ready, guys, go.
So Leeds off the hook there.
Wait, boys. Close by Sam. Sorry, Darryl.
Terrell Alforts plays the ball. And here's Harry Newman.
Movement, Ben. Harry, let them
Back
get
in the
up.
side for the last four. The firebrand centre.
3. Move, Ben.
Donaldson off the bench.
Halfway line. Donaldson's lost the ball. And the referee says it's a knock-on.
First contribution, yeah, it's not a positive one. Paul Seguier congratulated by his Catalan Dragons teammates. Enough going on in the tackles. Dragons ball.
On the 10.
Yeah, it's a good contact, wasn't it? Up underneath the ball. And Donaldson in trying to get to play it and restart players, fumble possession. All right, interestingly, the Catalan Dragons have asked for, normally you get these, and whilst you can now choose where you want the scrum, most, unless you're in a real attacking position, just want the scrum midfield. This has been taken right over.
As far as they can go on the right. Which kind of suggests they've got something planned. Here is Davis, and Davis skips away from the initial tackling attempt from Jared O'Connor.
Stand back here. Sam.
Newman and Donaldson eventually stop his progress. Here's May, here is Whitley now.
Yeah, it's smart is that you move the scrum across, then you make 2 plays to that left channel. You're forcing all of those forwards in that pack into big defensive adjustments off the ball.
Whitley and Cam Smith just having a word there, and then Busquet, another strong drive from the 32-year-olds. McAlorum, Tyrone May. May short ball to Whitley. Whitley was looking for Kieran. He finds Kieran. And Kieran manages to offload to McAlorum. McAlorum to Tyrone May. May keeps it going to Garcia. Garcia straightening up. 4 tackles gone. Just in front of those Leeds posts. Catalan looking for more posts. McAlorum, Busquet. Busquet is well dealt with by that Leeds defence there. Couldn't quite build up a head of steam on the last. May, Kieran back in field to Whitley, and that's good defence at the last. McDonnell, that was.
That's a great double effort from McDonnell. He's a try saver on Busquet the play before, and then he's got himself out as cover tackle. He injured himself in the tackle before, and he has put his body on the line there for the Leeds Rhinos, because that would have been a try, but for his intervention.
Having a little bit of treatment in back play, McDonnell, after his efforts there.
No, I think it was on the shoulder of Julian Busquet. I mean, I think I'd be rubbing my shoulders as well.
The Leeds can take some positives from that to withstand that.
Keep coming, Mick. 2.
Yeah, the stem the bleeding, I think, is probably about what you can say at the moment. I'm not sure about this, though, yet. Look, they're not getting any joy up the middle, but I think you've just got to work slowly into this. Try and create some momentum at the play the ball. Don't try and take shortcuts and go round a very, very solid Catalan Dragons defence. You've got to earn your right to play in this game.
Seguier just adding a little bit of extras there to Ash Hanley's tackle.
5. Movement.
That's the 5th tackle.
Go.
As Gannon is brought down.
Okay, he's clear.
High kick, and gets away from Sam Tompkins, and Tompkins leaves it to Tom Johnston, and Johnston away from the first challenge, away from the second, and eventually Cam Smith gets a hold of him.
That's a good save by Tom Johnston. I think the ball was from Morgan Gannon. He absolutely lofted that one. And Tompkins couldn't read it. Johnston's come to the rescue, but you see how quickly they fall back into the rhythm, into the routine. The Dragons, every single one of those men in the white shirts, they know the role, they know the job, they know where they need to be.
Busquet once more. Has moved up to 3rd on the Catalan Dragons all-time appearance list. Julian Busquet. That's the 5th tackle. As Matt Ikevalu plays the ball back in the side. Ikevalu. Now then Pearce. His turn to hoist the kick. Fusitua calmly underneath that one. And the chasers are there for the Catalan Dragons to stop his progress.
And this is repetitive, isn't it? It's really good from a Catalan Dragons point of view. They're keeping the ball in play, getting to the end of the sets, and then making the Rhinos work again, making them, again, go away from game plan. There's a shift on play 3. Not the way to do it. It's exactly what the Catalan Dragons want. They're chewing up tackles here.
Newman slow to his feet. 4 tackles gone.
Back boys, 4. Ready, Ben.
Hooley playing the ball.
We'll make 4.
Not the best of passes, and Cam Smith has to retreat, and when he looks up, there's a host of Catalan defenders there, and then his kick is not the greatest, and immediately the Catalan Dragons are on the front foot, and Leeds scrambling, trying desperately to get out of trouble, and this is only causing them more trouble.
Well, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I'll tell you, they're taking shortcuts. You saw sniffs of it in previous sets.
McMeekin short ball to Bousquet. McDonnell standing his ground. McAlorum, Tyrone May over the top, and Johnston will cruise in for the try. And Catalan Dragons punish Leeds with another try, and another try it is for Tom Johnston. Number 26 of the season for the Catalan Dragons winger. 27 in all competitions for Johnston, and that one a stroll in.
One of the easier finishes. I'll tell you, I'll say from the outset, I don't know Tyrone May, but I am a member of his fan club. You see with good players, it looks like they've got more time than anybody else on the field. He looked at the Leeds Rhinos defence, assessed what was in front of him, and then picked his pass. He had a couple of options there. He had the inside ball to Whitley, he had Kieran running out, he had Tompkins potentially out the back, and then he sees Tom Johnston try score extraordinaire on the wing, where he should be, in position, and the Catalan Dragons extend their score for 22 points to 0. The Leeds Rhinos are now 72 unanswered points in competitive Super League rugby. And that's embarrassing. That's embarrassing for a side that we're still mathematically, if nothing else, talking about playoff Super League, and a side that featured in the grand final 12 months ago. That's embarrassing.
It is one of the mysteries of this season that a club of their stature can be scrambling around, clinging on to hopes of making the top 6, and those hopes are rapidly fading away in Perpignan this evening. As Kieran lines up another conversion attempt, has not missed so far. And he has missed for the first time, but 22-0. Catalan Dragons lead coming up to the half hour. Leeds supporters defiant.
And they're presenting so many options to a Leeds Rhinos defence, so many puzzles there to solve, and you've got microseconds on the edges, and the defenders 1, 2 and 3 from the edge, wing, centre, standoff or scrum half.
Look at that.
And Tom Johnston with that try, I mean, that's, you know, there's been some performances this season, hasn't there? Now, Abbas Miski, for example, hadn't featured in a game of Super League until round 7. And he's now sat top of the league. 5
tries last night, just the 5. Leeds go for the short restart again. Play on, says the referee. The ball comes up for Leeds. Ash Hanley picking it up. Tough for Hanley, who's known the good days with Leeds. Now then, can they create something? Give those loyal supporters something to cheer about. That's been stolen by the sound of the referee's whistle. Shrill blast of Ben Thaler's whistle. McMeekin unhappy about something. It's Lissoni and McMeekin who are being asked to attend the headmaster's study.
There's something to nothing, I think, in that, wasn't it? Trying to figure out what originally a penalty for a strip, which looked like a 50-50 call to me.
That was to me all lads who were causing it, so they don't draw it in the start. Ahead of them, they all sort it out, and I'll start taking people down. Wait, there's a penalty.
So the penalty conceded by the Catalan Dragons after all of that. Can Leeds get points on the board? Half an hour gone. They trail by 22 points to 0.
Wait, boys, wait, Sammy. Wait. Go.
So Lasoni playing the ball. And there was...
It's a late contact
I think
hit.
it is. It's another penalty for Leeds. Cam Smith says he's okay.
Cam Smith, love that position. I think he's been Leeds Rhinos' best player this season. Love that position he plays, though, ball carrying. It's wow. That's not a late hit. It's a throw, maybe. I mean, I'm not really sure what the penalty's for, but the result is that Cam Smith will leave the field for a head injury assessment.
Hasn't missed a game this season, Cam Smith. Played in all 26, but he's off the field at the moment.
Okay. Go.
And Leon Ruan comes on to fill the gap. So this is an opportunity for Leeds to conjure something up here. Here is Lasoni. Lasoni being shuffled towards the sideline.
Line Julian to Mick Line. Mick.
Defence from Catalan there. Here is Jack Sinfield. Sinfield back to the short side. Not a great pass, and Fusitua has to go back to scramble to get that ball. Here is James McDonnell. One of the positives of the season, you'd have to say, McDonnell for Leeds.
Yeah, good young player coming through.
It's Donaldson. And on the last, Sinfield stabs the kick in. Tompkins wrong-footed. Sinfield was chasing it, and Sinfield's going to claim the try. There's going to be another referral to the video ref Marcus Griffiths. That ball ricocheting off Sam Tompkins' ankle. But did Jack Sinfield get there in time? Did he manage to ground the ball?
Yeah, this is going to need a video referee look at this one. Well, Sinfield's short stab. It's Seguier initially ricochets, then into Mitchell Pearce. It's whether Tompkins is able to get a hand there before Sinfield does. We're going to need another angle to determine two ricochets. Oh no, sorry, one ricochet straight off Mitchell Pearce, change direction, wrong foot Tompkins.
Oh, does Tompkins get that down just in the nick of time?
I'll tell you what, if he does, he's done incredibly well.
But I don't think Jack Sinfield got anything on it, did he?
Well, if Sinfield is awarded this try, I think it'd be his first ever in Leeds colours. But I'm looking at that. I mean, it's been sent up as a try. The question is there enough there to suggest that Sam Tompkins has made that ball dead before Sinfield has been able to ground it?
Well, he's had a quick look as Marcus Griffiths. Has he given Leeds hope with this decision? Oh no, Sinfield is denied the faintest of touches, and Tompkins is adjudged to have grounded that ball.
Well, look, Jack Sinfield won't have to wait long to open his Leeds try-scoring account. He's obviously a bright young talent, and he's been given his head by Rowan Smith. But there's one on the way out there, Sam Tompkins. This may or may not be his last home game before he hangs up the boots. But I tell you what, that was some recovery. On a ground as well, where he has to change direction very quickly. Short kick-off. That's really smart work by the Leeds Rhinos, but has then been doubly knocked on. What a circus this is.
Kieran came up with the ball, and Leeds had knocked on, says Ben Thaler. So Catalan get the rub of the green there.
So they kind of got what they played for. They played for a
long way round.
They played for a short restart to regain possession, and they have done. 18 months ago, that would be unheard of, wouldn't it? Short restarts and short kickoffs. Now they are very much part and parcel of the game. Adds another dimension, another thought process you have to make as a defender. Good first carry, strong first carry from Tom Johnston.
Catalan, who had been so convincing at the top of the table, they've suffered a bit of a dip in form in recent weeks. Lost at Hull KR. They were absolutely hammered by Wigan. Back on track against Wakefield last time out, not too convincingly.
And they're having a little wobble here. They're having a 5-minute period here where they need to get back into that rhythm again. And it all revolves around Michael McAlorum at dummy half, nice crisp passing, players finding the fronts, completing sets. Bousquet been told by Ben Thaler to take that ball back and play it properly.
Just about full strength at the moment, Catalan. No Arthur Morg to come off the bench. That's another offload that catches teammates slightly unaware, but Pearce it is who picks it up. Tompkins was bursting through in support.
Ready, Morgan. Side him up. Come on, go. 5.
And here is Tompkins now on the last, hoists the kick, and Hooley is underneath it, and Hooley collects, and then Davis makes the follow-up tackle for the Catalan Dragons. And now Catalan will look to force the error from this lead side.
Well, it was great kick chase from Ikovalu and Davis, and then great pressure. Hooley nonchalant in the corner, but they're now midway through the tackle count and still inside their own 10.
Good work from Whitley on Ash Hanley with that tackle. His Fusitua going the long way round, gets away from Kieran. Johnston eventually stops his progress. That's 4 tackles gone.
Go.
Sinfield, he's Newman now.
5.
That's the 5th tackle.
Ready, Paul. 5.
And it needs to be a good kick coming up.
Hey.
Straight out in the full.
Look, you put that down to Tom Johnson. Started that with a brilliant carry at the start of that set. It's part of his game that I think is very much under talked about, not talked about frequently enough. We talk about his finishing. He set the Catalan Dragons off then. You know, a good kick at the end of the set, a great chase, squeeze the life and squeeze the meters out of the Leeds Rhinos, and then look, you know, the Rhinos in an attempt to try and regain some kick position with going for a longer kick than perhaps they should, have invited the Dragons back into their danger zone, into their red zone once again.
Catalan have been beaten in front of their own fans. Oh.
No. First defence. His hand all over the ball, then it forces him to knock on it for penalty.
Ben Thaler penalising Leeds, hands all over the ball. So will Kieran, with half-time approaching, look for 2 points here. I was going to say Catalan are vulnerable on their own pitch. No, they're not going for 2.
Well, this comes back to the points difference conversation again. I mean, they just, like, any opportunity, and this almost seems counterintuitive to say any opportunity to take points, you take them, but they want maximum return. They've really got to start to put some distance between themselves and St Helens on the points difference chart.
Oof. Bousquet juggling with the ball. Leon Ruan grappling with him. Mike McAlorum, Mitchell Pearce, Sam Tompkins, and another try for Tom Davis, is it? Another try for Tom Davis, another referral to the video ref. Did Leeds manage to deny Tom Davis his 15th of the season? Ben Thaler reckons it's a try. It's a busy evening in Perpignan for Marcus Griffiths.
Well, it's a piece of magic in the build-up to this from Ikovalu. He had no right to be able to get that pass away. The ball came to the right again. Tompkins, we're just looking at the grounding for the moment. And don't wingers do this well? I reckon there's nothing wrong with that as well. Legs up, arms up. It's just a question of whether the ball stays on the ground. Pass from Tompkins. Take a look at this next ball from Ikovalu. I mean, he catches it almost behind him. It's a catch pass. Alforts is done. The legs are up. The body position and awareness of the wingers these days is unbelievable. One of the best rule changes they ever made in the sport was removing that corner flag from play. It opened up the opportunities for the likes of Davis and Makinson and Johnston, some of the best finishes in our game, and Davis is going to get his second bill.
Marcus Griffiths has a look at that one, and Tom Davis gets his second of the game. And Catalan Dragons, as John was saying, 2 points, no good. Another 4 points in the bag with the kick to come from Kieran.
Oh, listen, they'll be aware of this. They're focused on the task at hand as we watch the try again. Pearce, early ball to Tompkins. That's a beautiful catch and pass from Ikevalu. And then what a finish in the corner. They used to be special, these finishes. We now talk about them as being commonplace, don't we?
Run-of-the-mill now.
But that's it. There's still the amount of training, the amount of repetitive training that has to be done. I've seen training sessions where they have crash mats in the hot sunny days so you don't start getting those repetition injuries on elbows and knees. Part and parcel of the training for the back three. But I thought the contribution from Ikevalu, the try-assist pass, was something special. Just going back to the point about points difference, yes, they are focusing on the task at hand, which is 2 competition points. Once that they feel is in the bag, they will be well aware, the Catalan Dragons club, that the points difference before a ball was kicked today was 1 point in favour of the Catalan Dragons. Not points, competition points, points difference. So anything the Dragons can do beyond the win is going to be of huge benefit to them with 1 round remaining. And I tell you what, they're not making a bad fist of it at the moment, are they?
Kieran composes himself, just has a word with himself or somebody in the crowd before he sets this tricky conversion off from wide out. Looking good, spot on from Adam Kieran. Wigan must be licking their lips. 28 points to 0, Catalan ahead. Final minute of the first half, and Steve McNamara and his coaching team will be very satisfied with this first half effort. Coming up after this at 7:30 on Sky Sports Arena, massive game, another massive game from the top 6 saga, Hull KR against Salford.
That's going to be some game. There is so much ride in it. Fewer permutations than a week ago, but still huge opportunity for Hull KR to make a real statement in front of the home fans. The Salford Red Devils, we're understanding there is illness in the camp as well, but they're a team that thrive under pressure, don't they? Thrive when the odds are against them. But look, that's the game at hand, and I've been really impressed with the first half showing from the Catalan Dragons.
Well, Catalan Dragons will face Salford next week. That's a great kick, and Hooley has to pick it up on his own try line. Does well, eventually takes the tackle. The final tackle of the first 40 minutes. Ben Thaler signals the end of a very satisfactory first 40 minutes for the Catalan Dragons. Looking to go second or back to second in the table, overhauling the Saints. And at half-time, the Dragons lead by 28 points to 0.
Bill, thank you very much. If there were any question marks about the Catalan Dragons' performances in recent weeks, surely they have put them to bed with that 40-minute performance in the south of France. 5 tries against the Leeds Rhinos, whose season now looks likely to be over. The Dragons closing in on a top 2 finish. We're going to discuss it with Paul Cook and Jamie Jones-Buchanan after this. We've got lots more rugby league coming up for you on Sky Sports. From the NRLW, the Eels Sharks tomorrow at 4:05 on Sky Sports Arena and on Main Event, and that will be followed by a sudden death match between the Raiders and the Titans. The Raiders need to beat the Titans by 12 or more points to leapfrog them into the top 4. Arena Main Event 6:15, and it'll be followed by the Queensland Cup, Burleigh Bears, Brisbane Tigers at 8:30 a.m. on Arena. We've got the NRL semi-finals coming up for you. The reigning champions, the Panthers, taking on the Storm at 10-11 on Sky Sports Arena next Friday morning, and it will be followed on Saturday morning by the Broncos against the Warriors, who won through against the Newcastle Knights this morning on Sky Sports. That's 10:50 a.m. on Sky Sports Arena next Saturday. A place in the grand final, the prize for those 4 sides in action. Well, will the Catalan Dragons head to a grand final they graced in 2021? You would say the Leeds Rhinos now are no chance of making this season's playoffs. They trail in a must-win game, 28-0 at half-time. It has been a completely dominant Dragons performance. Jamie Jones Buchanan and Paul Cook joining me here pitch side at Sewell Group Craven Park. It will be our host venue for tonight's second match in our doubleheader as Hull KR take on Salford. First gentleman, focus on the first 40 minutes that we have just witnessed from Perpignan. Sum it up, Paul Cook.
Well, if we wondered what Catalan Dragons was going to dish up and going into the playoffs and trying to get back into the top two and even top spot, then we've been given a definitive answer in that first 40 minutes. Leeds Rhinos are in disarray. 78 points conceded in one half and a full game last week, Brian, is not good enough by their standards, Jamie. I'm sure you'll agree.
Not the greatest to start by the Leeds Rhinos. An error early on, punished by the Catalan Dragons.
Early error, an opportunity on Catalan's 40-metre line now. Get the ball in your hands, can't help, get some collision, work your way into a game. What's this? Ball on deck, gifted ball back over, and Mickey McLaurin being really subtle, just working down short side with Kieran, gives it to Johnson. Escapes touch back inside, and as all good centres do, just follows up there, and just not enough people, bodies, green shirts, chasing back. And again, Mickey Mack, subtle pass, Garcia, just soft under the post. You know, those middles have got to look after those sticks.
Yeah, then it got to the edges, Brian, didn't it? And this is vintage Sam Tompkins. You know, he stands up, Reece Martin here, with a little bit of ease. He sort of passes it to himself, and then the pass is right on the money, right across the front of the centre to Tom Davies, who dives in for his first try of the first half. It's absolutely vintage Sam Tompkins. Absolutely sensational try.
Goes from Tom Davies' try to Tom Johnson's try. He's 26th in a sensational Super League season. Came after this.
This just won't happen in our day because accountability says you can't do that. You've got to roll your sleeves up. And, you know, John Wells is in there talking about being soft and taking shortcuts. It's not good enough. And a great pass over the top here, and that's what they can do. Tom Johnson running up his try-scoring tally. They can execute Catalan when they're given opportunities like that.
22-0. If it goes to 22-6, now this was the disallowed Jack Sinfield try. Sufficient evidence to overturn it?
Is there sufficient evidence to send it back? You know, to send it back a no try. We're not sure here. The referees had a good look at it, but then again, just vintage Sam Tompkins again on the end of the line. Ikevalu, really soft hands, but the pass from Tompkins is perfect. That is absolutely sensational centre play, Brian. He's almost not caught the ball, has he? And it's out of his hands before he's even got it into his hands. Tom Davies again, the beneficiary.
Absolutely brilliant at the right time in this season. Is the penultimate round of the Betfred Super League. The Catalan Dragons, we know, are heading into the playoffs, and they're going to head in fine form. They are demolishing the Leeds Rhinos here on Sky Sports in the south of France. What have Rowan and the Rhinos got in response? They were hammered last week at home by Wigan. They will not want to back it up with a horrendous away defeat in the south of France. 40 minutes to rectify that here on Sky Sports.
They never thought it'd be done. The Saints have done it.
The Women's Super League champions, the Leeds Rhinos.
Halifax Panthers are the Super League Grand Final winners.
Yes, October is Grand Final season. Live with us on Sky Sports. It all starts on Sunday, October the 8th. The Women's Grand Final, 2:30 p.m. on Arena and on Mix. On Saturday, October 14th. The men's grand final from Old Trafford, 5 p.m. on Arena and on Main Event. And on Arena the following day at 5 o'clock for the Betfred Wheelchair Super League Grand Final. A special couple of weekends on Sky Sports. Will we see the Catalan Dragons at Old Trafford? You can be pretty confident we will not see the Leeds Rhinos in the playoffs, let alone the grand final. They trailed 28-0 against the Dragons in a game they simply must win to keep even a tiny mathematical chance of making the playoffs alive. Jamie Jones Buchanan and Paul Cook with us pitch side here at Sewell Group Craven Park. I'm going to talk to you about the Catalan Dragons shortly. I'm going to parachute you, a 7-time grand final winner, a legend of the Leeds Rhinos, into their changing rooms at the Stade Gilbert Brutus. And your message, the message of Jamie Jones Buchanan to the Leeds players that they've got 40 more minutes to play, would be what?
Who wants to show some pride in his shirt? Who wants to put one on, you know, and play like they want to play? Just listen, people have wanted to lead. Now's the time to go lead. You know, put your hand up, go out on the field there, get the ball and just run direct. Bury your nose, get up and play it. Do that for 40 minutes. It's not an hard game. Just run hard, tackle hard, and you'll find yourself back into some sort of contest. At the minute, it's been nowhere near good enough.
if that's the message, is Rowan the player, the man to deliver that? And what I mean by that is that the way Rowan delivers his messages? He talks about long game, the long-term planning, the future of the club. That's not what they need now. You got 15 minutes to address a group of players that have got 40 more minutes to rescue some pride.
Listen, all coaches are a little bit different and nuanced. He's a great coach. You know, the skill level, tactical, technical stuff, brilliant. I think some of the players need to own it. He's inherited what he's inherited. And there's players there that have wanted to lead, put their hand up, crying out for it. Well, now's the opportunity, because we've got the right people on the bus, the young kids that are going to come through. So somebody pick it up, take it by the horns and get carrying the ball forward.
If you're Steve McNamara for the Catalan Dragons, you would say we got some very big games coming up next week and in the playoffs. If it's a home semi-final they secure, they will of course get a week off. What I don't want to see is a regression in the second half here. I want the foot down and hammer home the point.
Yeah, absolutely, because going into playoffs, Brian, and going into knockout football games, which is where they'll find themselves if they're in the top two, they'll get a home semi-final to make the grand final. Then you need to be at it for 80 minutes, not 40 minutes. And we've seen with Catalan before, they went to Leeds earlier on in the season, who was winning 22-8 at the break. They ended up getting beat. You cannot afford to now, in my opinion, if you're Steve McNamara and Catalan Dragons, for Leeds Rhinos to come out and win this half. I think you put your foot on the throat and you strangle them and you say, we are going to win this game at a canter and we're going into the playoffs in form.
Will that unfold? Find out now as we go back to our commentary team for the second 40 minutes. It's the Catalan Dragons with a 28-0 half-time lead over the hapless Leeds Rhinos. John Wells and Bill Arthur.
Yeah, Leeds, their season, which has been a catalogue of disappointment, really, looking as though it's going to fizzle out. They went into this knowing that 2 wins from their last 2 games is what was needed to keep their season alive. Nothing else would do. Well, you cannot see them. The way Catalan have just controlled this game, you can't see Catalan letting this slip.
No, the question for me, I mean, look, we talked about Leeds during the break. I want to talk and I want to focus on what Paul Cook left us with. Can this Catalan Dragons side, they've clearly returned to form, they've clearly got some highly talented individuals, they are playing as a team. Can this Catalan Dragons side now show a ruthless edge that we are used to seeing from the likes of St Helens and Wigan?
Well, Wigan certainly, that ruthlessness. No mercy will be the message from Steve McNamara as James Donaldson runs the ball back and immediately is on the receiving end of a high shot from Mati Kuvalu.
Certainly not the start that Steve McNamara would have wanted.
Concede a penalty in the first seconds of the second half.
But an opportunity to have a look at if Jamie Jones-Buchanan was in that dressing room, or if he could have channeled some energy into that dressing room. And the request was some direct running, bury your nose, play the ball, tackle hard, and you will find yourself back in the contest.
Reece Martin. Just over the halfway line as he plays the ball. Cameron Smith. And Donaldson. James Donaldson. Playing the ball, and then enthusiastic defence from the Catalan Dragons on Harry Newman, who can be a threat. It's good work from Lissone. Oh, and Hooley couldn't take the ball, which was tantalisingly in front of him. But good work from Sam Lissone again.
Yeah, better from Leeds. Nice little shimmy from Sam Lissone, and the idea was right. Hooley just couldn't pull it in.
That's a warning for the Catalan Dragons. Sam Lissone, the Samoan international, got his first ever career hat-trick in the recent win against Hull FC, did Sam Lissone. So Catalan Dragons just given a little bit of a G-up at the start of the second. They conceded the penalty. They could have conceded a try there.
I thought they reacted well, responded well. That Jack Sinfield dropped a ball off to Harry Newman, who's dangerous, crabbing back across the field. You could see the homework there in practice. The Catalan Dragons had flooded around the back defensively and shut that down. These are the things now you need to be looking at as they're stepping up a level from next week. They need to go to Salford and beat Salford to confirm second place, and they need points difference in their favour as well.
Here is Tiaki Chan, another player leaving the club at the end of the season. He'll be in Wigan colours in 2024. Here is Julian Bousquet. He is going nowhere. One club man. He played in the Catalan Dragons' first ever game at Leeds in 2014. The kick is a high one, and there's a Catalan player taken out. Off the ball, says Ben Thaler. Tyrone May was that player, and Leeds concede the penalty.
There was a great second option, I think, from Sam Tompkins. Went short side, had a look, realised the kick was on, but then it was the kick chase that really made the difference. Mate Kavalu was that man who provided a brilliant kick chase to get the penalty, and another opportunity for the Dragons.
Looking for the first points of the second half, looking to extend their lead. Here is Julian Bousquet, and Bousquet driving it at the Leeds defenders. McDonnell and Donaldson doing the tackling. Here is Tyrone May. Little step from May, looking for the gap, gets the offload away. The follow-up support was there from Mitchell Pearce, and Pearce does get the try. But take your hat off to Tyrone May, who created that. And Mitchell Pearce was on his shoulder. Gets his 4th try of the season. And the Catalan Dragons continue where they left off at the end of the first half.
That was brilliant from Tyrone May. Lofted ball across from Mickey McAlorum, and seen Jared O'Connor over chasing. He's ridden the tackle, and then Mitchell Pearce knows well enough that Tyrone May's got hands. He's strong, he's rangy, and it's a lovely, soft, cushioned offload to Mitchell Pearce. Announced his retirement from the game after a glittering career earlier this week. Well, it looks like he's going out in style, doesn't he? The Catalan Dragons get the scoreboard ticking once again, just 4 minutes into this second half. Lovely change of direction, and that's the 20th try assist of the season for Tyrone May. And I'll say this again, in his 17th appearance, missed 10 games this year.
Grand final winner with Penrith in 2021, Tyrone May. Hoping that maybe he can win grand finals on both sides of the world. Catalan Dragons certainly look as though they have the potential to do that. They've been to a grand final, came away empty-handed. Now Kieran, bang in front of the posts. Just the one miss from him so far in Perpignan in this game. And the Catalan supporters, who had to endure their side being humiliated on their own pitch by Wigan last time they were at the Gilbert Brutus, in much happier because it's 34-0 now to the Catalan Dragons. That's a mo.
They're a happy bunch of fans. They're a happy bunch of fans. We said right at the start, didn't they? The last 2 times they've watched the Dragons, they've had two very, very different Catalan Dragons. Well, this is an awful lot like the penultimate time they were at home when they nilled Salford in impressive fashion. And the Leeds Rhinos have gone for a short restart. Looks like they're going to come up with the ball again here. Catalan Dragons have knocked this on.
Yeah, Tom Davis couldn't get up high enough. Well, the short kickoffs have worked occasionally for Leeds.
I mean, that's, you know, if you're talking about that as the sum total of the positive things we can say. Yeah, it's look, I'm not sticking the boot in him, but it's hard to watch, isn't it, for such a club steeped in success and decorated with history. I mean, looking back at the league tracker, this Leeds Rhino side have not spent a single week in playoff positions. Not a single week in the regular season have they been inside the top 6. I mean, that says something about a side that was in the grand final last year.
Well, here's Lissoni, enthusiastic, bringing that to the Leeds effort as they look to avoid another nilling. Long way to go yet. Cam Smith, here's Hooley, and then McDonnell, the Irish international, dumped to the ground. Matt Whitley with the tackle. Hooley spins the ball out to Cameron Smith, and Smith, oh, Martin can't take the ball, and Catalan are going to counter. It's Seguier in possession.
Yeah, Reece Martin just snatched at that. He's normally very, very dependable. And a good early shift from the Catalan Dragons. Here's May, ball to Whitley. Another player rumoured to be leaving at the end of this season. And this is a Catalan Dragons side that have got everything to play for, and not just the obvious. This is a group of colleagues, professionals, good friends, I would imagine, as well. And there's going to be a rebuild on for Steve McNamara at the Catalan Dragons at the end of this year, so they're going to want to go out in style.
It's going to be interesting to see how they handle that rebuild. Here is Manu Mao, his debut season with the club. May, Whitley, quick hands to Tom Johnston. Johnston in, out, and away! Away goes Tom Johnston. What a try from Tom Johnston. Second of the game. And he absolutely bamboozled the Rhinos' defence then. No wonder he's all smiles. That takes him to 27 for the season in Super League. Under the sticks, kick to come, 38-0.
And there's a chase on, isn't there, for that top try scorer award, and it all came from the error from Reece Martin. The Catalan Dragons in double quick time up the other end of the field, and then again good early ball, lovely hands from Whitley. It's the first 2 or 3 steps once he's in space from Johnston that's always been impressive. He was a junior, I think county level sprinter was Tom Johnston. You just see the way he opens up, first 2 or 3 steps, takes him away from the Leeds Rhinos defence and scores underneath the sticks. You imagine this will be conversion as well, which would bring up 40 unanswered points for the Catalan Dragons. And we keep doing the maths here, and that's 90 unanswered points in a game and 50 minutes. And it's not the way the Leeds Rhinos wanted to end their season. It's not the way that anybody wants to spend any part of their season. But the Catalan Dragons, we said at the start, a win, and then a win by a big score. Why? Because St Helens are breathing down their neck. Because points difference is going to separate second and third. Because points difference is going to separate the difference between having a home semi-final back here at the Stade Gilbert Brutus or having to go away and play a playoff-ready team.
Kieran. Straightforward conversion for him to take the Catalan Dragons to 40 points, and still plenty of time to go for them to inflict more punishment on this Leeds Rhinos side, unless they take their foot off the gas. But Tom Johnston, what a debut season he is having for the Catalan Dragons. On course for a record-breaking season, Tom Johnston is.
That's beautiful hands, isn't it, from Matt Whitley? He played a little bit in the centres, but mainly these days known as a back rower. And that's a wonderful catch and pass for Tom Johnston.
There you go. He is level now with Abbas Miski as far as Super League try scorers go. And Leeds, this time the short kickoff hasn't worked for them. And then on the home front, as far as most tries in a Catalan season, he is now just one behind Morgan Escaré in that particular battle, Tom Johnston. And the way this game is shaping up, you wouldn't back against him levelling that or even going in front, because he's got a great record against Leeds. In his Wakefield days, he got 10 tries in 11 appearances against Leeds in his Wakefield days. Hat-trick in 2019, 2 tries on 3 other occasions.
I remember the hat-trick game, it was at Leeds as well, and there was an absolutely superb catch involved in that as well. Yeah, really skillful player. Kieran on the edge again. And now they're in full flow of the Catalan Dragons. And you're looking at this and you're looking at the body language of the Dragons side. And this doesn't look to me like a team build that's going to take its foot off the gas anytime soon.
Here's Matt Whitley now. Still just under half an hour of the game to go. Here's Bousquet. Bousquet, that's Holroyd with the tackle. Gannon in there as well. Holroyd and Bousquet wrestling. Manu Mao. Manu Mao struggling to get to his feet. Jared O'Connor trying to delay things. Pearce, Tyrone May. May checks, cuts back in field. Cameron Smith. And McDonnell managed to stop him. Here's McIlorum. And Leeds desperately defending as Manu Mao plays that, as Jackie Chan plays that ball. Here is Bousquet again, and Bousquet, that's good defence from Leeds to deny him as he drove for the line. McIlorum somehow gets the pass away to Tyrone May. May evades the first challenge. Here is Pearce now. Pearce with a little grubber kick. Seguier is challenging, and it's Alforts who manages to get that ball dead. And the punishment will continue with the goal line dropouts. Ben Thaler wanted a word with something. It's Harry Newman and Michael McIlorum. Case of mistaken identity, I think that was from Ben Thaler. Not sure who he was wanting to pick out, but it wasn't Harry Newman by the sound of things. Here's Jackie Chan.
Well, the Wigan Warriors have done the scouting well, haven't they? It's a real strong carry from Jackie Chan. He's a Warrior next year, as is Adam Kieran, who's had a standout season, sole season as a Catalan Dragon. Whoever's doing the scouting there, the recruitment there is doing a good job. Manu Mao it was playing the ball. And once more.
Back, boys. Back, Mickey, 3. Ready, pal. Go.
Plays the ball about 10 metres. Laura. Oh, flick out the door by Pearce to Bousquet, and Bousquet, he is really running hard, straight up the middle, giving Leeds plenty of work to do. Tyrone May stabs a little kick in, and Kieran will get his second of the game. And Tyrone May, Hull KR supporters must be licking their lips. He has been pulling the strings for the Catalan Dragons in this game. And Adam Kieran takes his tally to the season to 12. His second of the game. And there is no let-up.
Again, Tyrone May realises he's got a rusher in the Leeds Rhinos defence, then goes to the second option, which is the kick. I mean, there's two things about this. First of all, you've got the skill and the execution to do it, and then secondly, you need teammates around you that are aware that you have the ability to do that. If I told you that that was Tyrone May's 21st try assist of the season, and 10 of those, nearly 50%, have come from kicks. You know, your teammates' knowledge of your abilities as a ball player, either with a passing or kicking game, is huge. You know, look, we've talked about Adam Kieran, we've talked about Pearce, we've talked about Tompkins. I'm talking about Tyrone May a lot this evening. I mean, they've got threats all over this park, and this should prove as fair warning to anybody else already in the 6 or has got eyes on the final 2 playoff places, that they are going to face a stern test and have to solve an awful lot of problems on the fly when they face this Dragon side.
2 season campaigners there, Sam Tompkins, Michael McIlorum. Tompkins 34, bowing out at the end of this season. Michael McIlorum not so. His 376th career appearance, McIlorum. Leeds born, and very much at home in Perpignan.
And he's done every single one of those at the coalface, in the middle, with that characteristic right on the edge way that we know he carries himself. Much better in recent years as well, I might add. He's found that balance. I understand, talking to Steve McNamara off the field, you know, one of the best professionals you are likely to see. That's one of the reasons I think why his body's holding up and he gets to go again. Kieran, 86% strike rate today.
And another one on targets. Converts his own try. 44 points to 0. 46 points to 0 now with that conversion.
And it's time assessing what's going on, assessing the changes in the defensive line, reacting, and then having teammates around you that know about your skill set and can take advantage.
Here is Mike McMeekin back on the fields. Here is Whitley. LKR against Salford to come here on Sky Sports this evening. Another crucial game. And Umau offloads to Mitchell Pearce. Pearce to Tompkins. Sam Tompkins investing in a vineyard, apparently, in France.
Yeah, it won't be the first. Quite a few ex-Catalan players have done the same.
David Ferriol did a very good rose.
David Ferriol, Oliver Elimer more recently, French captain, mainstay of this Catalan Dragons pack for many years. He has a vineyard down in the south of France as well.
Here is Hooley.
Still waiting for an invite for that one, by the way, Bill.
There's some debate about what Sam Tompkins's brand name will be. I think 20 Van Nerf is a possibility. Maybe he could sell cherry and white.
Move, guys! Ready, boys, ready, Paul. 3. Go, 3.
Leeds. Well, it's gone a bit flat for them this evening. No fizz from the Rhinos. They needed to be tonight if they were to keep these faint hopes alive. Well, extinguished by this Catalan Dragon performance. Set their stall out virtually from the word go, Catalan. And Leeds have had no response. Johnston collects the kick and immediately looks to see what the options are. Tries to go round, can't do that. Referee says play the ball. And then Tom Davis from the other flank.
This is better defence from the Leeds Rhinos. But they've made life incredibly difficult for themselves, haven't they? They've not been great in possession. They've been loose in defence far too many times. Then you couple that with a side that is clearly returning to form at the right side, right time of the season.
Here is Ben Garcia.
Yeah, Tom 5. Go.
McIlorum, Mitchell Pearce. Pearce, time to pick his spot, hoist the kick. Hooley underneath it, and McIlorum is there to greet him.
Great kick chase. No, it's the simple things. JJB said at half-time, look, it's not a difficult game. It's a difficult game to play well, but it's not a difficult game. The component parts, run hard, tackle hard, and then those finer points, the timings off the kick chase, the timings off the pass, defensive reads, and the Dragons are getting it all right at the moment.
Hanley playing the ball. 4 tackles gone. Hooley, Reece Martin, a little show of the ball. He had Mikołaj Ledski on his shoulder. Sinfield with the kick. And it ricochets away from Sam Tompkins. Lengthy stride takes him back to the ball and then gives Tom Johnston possession. And Johnston seeking to find a way through. Maybe a flagging Leeds Rhinos defence. Pearce. Here is Tom Davis. Tom Johnston gets a lot of the plaudits, but Tom Davis hasn't done a bad job. 7 tries in his last 10 games. I think it's 8 tries in his last 10 now. Here is Busquet. McMeekin spins away from Aledski's challenge and is able to offload. Play on, says the referee. No, it was knocked on by the Catalan Dragons.
Now, look, despite the error at the end of all this, that was a really well-constructed set from the Dragons. So the forwards done an awful lot of work in the middle. So you saw outside back half take the first 4 carries. Busquet didn't get his hand on it until play 5. Then Mike McMeekin. This ended up in an error. McMeekin is grounded no one on him, so he's able to pass the ball, but then a knock on off the back of that just there from Garcia. You know, it's about sharing that workload as well, the forwards. And these guys have got big engines, they're athletes, but if the back three can come in and the halves can take a little bit of pressure off them every now and again in the set, that really helps preserve some energy.
Quarter of the game to go, Leeds trailing by 46 points to 0. Their season then fizzling out disappointingly. The supporters will be wondering what lies ahead. What's 2024 going to bring for the Rhinos? Because they'll want to see an improvement. Haven't featured in the top 2 since 2017. Top 4, in fact, since 2017.
You know, that in part is down to the rapid improvement of lots of other clubs, you know, not least the Catalan Dragons. You know, they don't forget, they narrowly preserved their Super League status in the £1 million game not so many years ago.
Ooh. Leon Ran is down. He's got a whack on the elbow. In a lot of pain, the 20-year-old.
Yeah, looks in a deal of discomfort, doesn't he? Hooley misses and doesn't collect the bomb. He hasn't looked convincing, Luke Hooley. He hasn't looked convincing to the high ball. That's a confidence issue for me, because I've seen him playing before in the lower leagues, and he looks good, and that's jumped straight out of the tackle as Leon Ruan. Hyperextension maybe of the elbow, or he looks in a great deal of discomfort. Yeah, just on Luke Hooley, you know, I'm not player bashing here, because I've seen him play a lot of games in the lower leagues, and you know, I think he's a high quality player, but he's clearly a player lacking in confidence, as have a lot of these Leeds Rhinos at the moment.
And they're missing some key players, obviously.
Yes, yeah. Well, look, but part of that, you talk about the missing players, and Leeds fans will be saying, yeah, but we've let some of those players go as well, and key players, and not replaced them during the season.
Yeah, there's no Nene. No Nene no more, by the sound of things.
Yeah, I mean, that looks to me to be obviously a personal decision as to why he's not returned to the Leeds Rhinos. I'm thinking more of Blake Austin there. Yeah. You know, allowing Blake Austin to go in hindsight now looks like a terrible decision. And by the way, that doesn't look very much like an elbow either at the moment. So I think Leon Ruan's got some discomfort ahead of him as that's reset.
A harsh and painful afternoon, not just for Leon Ruan, but for the Leeds Rhinos as a whole.
Yeah. Well, look, you know, no one likes to see these pictures, and we wish Leon all the best and a speedy recovery. You know, Barry McDermott talks about, you know, the young players coming through at the Leeds Rhinos, and you know, had earmarked Leon Ruan as one of those guys. Obviously got a big future in the game, but that will only come as cold comfort at the moment to Rhinos fans. You know, talking about the future and Jam tomorrow, you know, that doesn't pacify or placate the hardcore.
Catalan managed to keep the ball alive. May has time to pick his spot. It's Adam Kieran. Catalan, next stop for them, 50 points. Tompkins, here is McMeekin. Garcia and Pearce. Pearce directing operations. Alrix da Costa is on. Tompkins lobs a kick into the corner, and Hooley does well there. Had that under control, the fullback. No, not so.
Played for and got, I think, by Sam Tompkins. That one is saying taken off the ball. It's from the kick. I mean, that's not a late challenge. It's not a late challenge, and you know, that was smart from Luke Hooley. Made sure his catching foot was in goal. That would have diffused the ball and meant a tap restart. Look, it's not a penalty, is it? No, but you go with the referee's call. I'm prepared to where, you know, the odd decisions referees are making these on the fly.
Navarrete.
And look, it's not going to affect the outcome of the game, is it?
Da Costa, Garcia, Tyrone May. May again checks, wriggles his way back across the line, then floats the pass out, but it's one that Matt Icavalo has to step back and retrieve. Lost a bit of momentum there. So here is May once more. Drops it off to Garcia, and then Garcia charges at Corey Johnson. Mikołaj Alecki. Da Costa fancies it, and he's held up just short. Da Costa denied. Pearce. Here is Tompkins. Tompkins with a little kick. And Tompkins will have it back to one, says the referee. And the punishment continues. Here is McMeekin now. McMeekin trying to find a way through, and very nearly does. The Leeds defence a bit statuesque there. Da Costa. Garcia drives it back again, and Garcia looking for the gap. May gives the ball on, and Icavalo will get the latest try for the Catalan Dragons. They were toying with the Leeds defence there, dragging them one way, then the other. And eventually Matt Icavalo it was who took the scoring pass, and Catalan Dragons hit 50 points, and Leeds again concede 50.
And it's a long passage of play, just looking and searching for openings and for cracks, and Tyrone May provides the final pass for Icavalo. Icavalo provided a try assist earlier on this evening for Tom Davis just before half-time. This time try scorer, and takes the Catalan Dragons to 50 points. And the Leeds Rhinos have now conceded, brace yourselves, 100 unanswered points in less than 2 games of Super League rugby. That's the team that was in a grand final less than 12 months ago.
Kieran, just one miss for him so far in this game. Still 14 minutes on the clock. Dejected Leeds players assembled by their posts once again. They'll be looking forward to rounding the season off, just looking forward to closing the season out. Final home game against the Castleford Tigers. Still something to cheer about, the Leeds supporters. Kieran then takes the Catalan Dragons past 52 points, past 50 points, 52 on the clock.
And it's Garcia who changes direction, just looking for cracks, for momentary lapses in concentration on the non-attacking side of that Leeds Rhinos defence. And Thomas Bosch, one of the best to wear the Catalan Dragons shirt, now in a coaching capacity, watches on as the 2023 iteration marches back into second position this evening. The question is, will they stay there come playoff time?
Yeah, St Helens with their final home game against Hull FC. Catalan with a visit to the Salford Red Devils next Friday. It's all going to be happening.
Well, look, the one thing you can say that the points difference for the Catalan Dragons is now healthy. 53 points difference ahead as we stand over St Helens. Now, look, Hull FC have just been walloped by Huddersfield by 50 earlier on today, so you're perhaps looking at that and going, that might not even be enough, and that's without even going to Salford. And Salford historically do not get thumped at home. So there's still plenty of uncertainty as to whether the Catalan Dragons start their playoffs at home or away.
An element of revenge in this for the Catalan Dragons as well, who lost at Headingley in March. They led 22-8 at half-time in that game against Leeds. The Rhinos turning it round spectacularly. 5 tries in the second half, and that's despite having Harry Newman sin-binned. 32-22. They won that one. 52-0. They trail here in this game in front of a jubilant Catalan Dragons crowd.
Make sure you are, stand square. Go, mate.
Can the Leeds Rhinos give their travelling supporters something to cheer about? Doesn't look as though the Catalan Dragons are in the mood to allow that to happen.
No, that'd be really pleasing for Steve McNamara. Yeah, I think it's been a very composed, for the most part, a very composed, and once again we see a Leeds Rhinos error. Ash Hanley, who's been largely anonymous this afternoon, this evening, hands possession once again to the Catalan Dragons. Steve McNamara would be really pleased. He'd be really pleased because his half-time address would have been about, look, you're in the driving seat, you're in the box seat, and we have an opportunity here to have a real say in where we finish on the table. We know a top 3 is guaranteed for them. It's whether they get that home semi. And they've gone on, and with 12 minutes on the clock, 11 minutes on the clock now, have pressed on with that scoring. I think it's all he could have asked for.
And he'll want them to maintain it all the way through, right up to the 80th minute. To just keep piling the points up. 3 tackles gone. They're bang in front of those Leeds posts, about 12 metres out, as Da Costa finds McMeekin. McMeekin on it goes to Tompkins. Tompkins a little kick through, and it's just dealt with as a trio of Catalan players were bearing down on the ball.
Yeah, he had no other option, did Lou Cooley. Positioning was correct, but he had no option. You know, with a less committed kick chase, you'd maybe take a risk there and try and let that bounce. But that kick chase did not allow it. Ikevalu, Davis, Seguier, all piling through. Again, as a coach, you look for those moments that perhaps the general public don't look at. They look at highlight reels and tries, and that's all well and good. But kick chases in the 69th minute are something that coaches get really excited about.
Here is Romain Navarrete, the first Frenchman to win in a grand final in his Wigan days. Navarrete, back in 2018, 6 again, says the referee. Da Costa, Tyrone May to Whitley. Tackled about 11 metres out, down the short side. Da Costa sends May, then May comes back, and then they change direction again. And Pearce, looking for his second of the game, is held up. Leeds managing tonight to deny Mitchell Pearce a brace. Just.
Yeah, good defensive work. Sinfield got underneath the ball, along with Hooley, the fullback. But it's a question of for how long, I think, because this line's going to get breached again. They just got too much firepower in too many different departments, the Dragons.
Here's Pearce once more. Pearce, oh, the ball intercepted. McDonald, think it is, as he got some pace. Newman trying to get away. Newman, the intercept experts. Didn't have the legs. We've seen him do that to good effect before. So that time Leeds manages to snuff out that Catalan attack, and then they lose possession. And Davis will pick it up. Davis cantering across the field. Harry Newman couldn't get away. And here is Tom Johnston. 2 tries to his name, Tom Johnston, looking to maybe close out a hat-trick. Here is McMeekin, denied early on by the video ref. Here is Da Costa. And then Seguier. Good commitment in defence from Leeds on that occasion. Here's Pearce to May. May on the ball back in field with Kieran, and Kieran manages to offload to Pearce. And Pearce, a lovely step, and Pearce trying to stretch out, can't quite get there. And that's good defence again from Leeds to deny Mitchell Pearce. It was McDonald that time. And Tompkins goes for 1 point and gets it, because every point could count for the Catalan Dragons. And the veteran, the old stager Sam Tompkins, knows exactly what the score is.
Right, it also just takes a bit of heat out of everything, because there's been an interception there. The Leeds Rhinos started to show something, a little bit of backbone in defence. And Tompkins very smartly just taken all the heat out of the situation. They'll take possession again, preserve some energy. But look, there's no hiding from this. There's a positive side from a Dragons point of view, and as a general Super League fan, you know, we've got a live threat here. Live challengers to St Helens, who've been the benchmark in Super League for the last 4 years.
Johnston claiming the short restart. Sorry, John.
Yeah, and the flip side to that, let's not hide from that one either. The Leeds Rhinos have been abject.
Hull against Salford coming up next. Sky Sports Arena. Massive game that is as well. And here's McMeekin.
Oh, he's been good. Hasn't he been good?
Donaldson clinging onto his ankle, manages to stop him. Tyrone May, little kick through, and Hooley goes back to gather the ball, gets away from Whitley. Goes to ground as Kieran makes the tackle. What a tough day it has been for the Leeds Rhinos, and quite an experience for the younger members of the side. The likes of Luke Hooley and Jack Sinfield. To be on the receiving end of this, successive games. Da Costa with the tackle. Here is Reece Martin. Martin trying to find a way through. That's the 5th tackle as Ikuvalo wrestles him to the ground. A high, hopeful, hanging kick, bounces deep, and Tompkins shows it to Johnston and gets away from the first challenge, and then the second challenge, and Tompkins is looking for some support, and he's got it. He had it from Whitley, but he kept going himself. Whitley maybe would have benefited from the path. And they're not going to allow Sam Tompkins to get to his feet, and it's Harry Newman, and Harry Newman is going to end up in the sin bin once again.
Well, he's asking what for, but well, there may be a little bit more to this. But your initial contact there, and it's as a second hit, but there's no reason for him to go in that hard, but he is available to be hit. He's not a tackle player.
He was sin-binned against them in March, John. For dissent, that was, on that occasion. So Leeds down to 12 for the last 5 minutes of the game, and Catalan will aim to capitalise just to increase their already very healthy points tally. Here's Navarrete. 2 tackles gone, the ball comes out, he's knocked on, says the referee. Navarrete is furious with himself, holds his hand up. Would it be ironic if Catalan weren't able to take advantage while Leeds were down to 12 men?
Yeah,
they've been running the show when they've had 13 on the field. Okay, there's only 4 minutes to go.
It's been a really competent, composed performance, and a real good balance of grit there, high completion, and no short amount of skill as well. Look, there'll be sterner tests, we know, down the road and just over the horizon. It's the best possible way to go into the final round of the season.
Leeds just over 3 minutes to do something about this scoreline. The last time they were nilled in successive games was back in 1991, when they lost 38-0 at home to Widnes, and then 5-0 at Bradford in the Challenge Cup. These are bigger nillings.
It's shocking, actually, when you look at a club of the size and the resources of the Leeds Rhinos as they make another mistake. To concede over 100 points in 2 games, with the facilities, the development they keep talking about, the financial clout, I mean, it's astonishing.
Here is McMeekin. Last 3 minutes of the game. Job done by the Catalan Dragons, back into second place in the table. Tompkins with a little chip kick, and Kieran with the try, gets his hat-trick. Tell you what, if Johnston doesn't get you, Davis will. If Davis doesn't get you, Kieran will. Adam Kieran doesn't just kick goals, he gets tries as well. He started the ball rolling with the first try of the game. Looks like he's rounded it off. Kick to come. 57-0 at the moment.
Well, it's a nice piece of play. Tompkins on the front foot. You could see what he was doing. Saw the spacing behind it. Just needed executing properly. And as they had been doing all night, all on the same page, connected, good kick chase. And you make your own look. You got the bounce the ball, does Kieran. He completes his hat-trick. He's had a brilliant individual game. But this has been an out-and-out team performance at the highest standard against the Catalan Dragons, who could only play and only beat what's in front of them. What's important now, as this game comes to a close, is the bottom left-hand corner of your screen. 57 points to 0. If that becomes 59 with this conversion, add 1 because they're currently at 1 point ahead of St Helens in points difference. And the question then becomes, is 60 points enough? Coupled with a win next week against Salford, and I know I'm forward projecting a week, and that would equal a home semi-final. Pictures of CR Takiaho.
Will they get him back for the playoffs?
He's played very little.
He has. They're hoping that he might yet have an involvement in the last few weeks of the season. Well, fair play to the Leeds supporters, defiant in the face of this. As Kieran, who's kicked 8 from 9, he's scored a hat of tries. Lands another one. 9 from 10 for him. And mission accomplished for the Catalan Dragons.
Yeah, everybody on the move, everybody on the front foot. Committed kick chase from Whitley and Kieran. Get the bounce of the ball. It's a little wedge, isn't it? A little sand wedge from Sam Tompkins. And they've done everything right. They've done the little things right. Obviously, you know, the build-ups to the tries, the try assists, been some wonderful passes, some really well-placed kicks. But the basics have all been there as well. You look at, you know, the likes of Michael McMeekan, who's had an outstanding game in the middle. Romain Navarrete. You had Julien Bousquet off the bench, who's got a boatload of meters in there. You know, this is a Dragon side that's ready. They are playoff ready.
Quite a day for Adam Kieran. He has broken the Catalan Dragons' points in a match record with 30 points. What an effort from him. 30 of the 59.
And who's he taking it from? I'm guessing that would be a Thomas Bosk. You know, we saw pictures of him earlier. He was a real legend of the club. And Steve McNamara will be incredibly happy with what he's seen.
He doesn't look it. Here is Mike McMeekan. They might not have finished yet. McMeekan, a lovely ball for Pearce, and Pearce with the kick chase, tackled after he'd kicked the ball. The Catalan Dragons players want a penalty. They're going to get more than that. They're going to get another sin binning with the last few seconds of the game as Pearce was taken out.
Yeah, it's a professional foul, so Mitchell Pearce...
2, says Steve McNamara, because that's all there is time for. Final kick of the game. Fusi Tua, beg your pardon, Sam Lissoni, who is sent to the sin bin. And Adam Kieran will have an opportunity to kick his 10th of the game. Tough trip for Rowan Smith and his team. Sam Lissoni sin binned.
Well, they finished the game with 11 players on the field, but I think they could have had 20, and he wouldn't have, you know, I still couldn't see how could they have gone and got the game. Sam Tompkins is going to be taking the shot at goal.
No pressure then. Kieran's only missed with 1 effort.
It's a high benchmark that Adam Kieran has set.
Surely there's no room for sentimentality on occasions like this. And Tompkins, we assume, has succeeded with that. And a very, very satisfactory afternoon for the Catalan Dragons. Satisfactory evening for the Catalan Dragons, a painful one for the Leeds Rhinos. Their top six hopes were flimsy before this. Well, they're non-existent now, and they have been on the end of another nilling. And the Catalan Dragons look in pretty good shape for what's to come. They're back in second in the table. It could all still change. Final round of the regular season to come. But the Catalan Dragons have plenty to smile about at the moment. 61 points to nil. They have won this game.